Hey, Jason here, and welcome back to From Scratch Ranch and the second video of our three-part video series of building our concrete pier foundation for our WoodMizer LX25 Sawmill. The first video was all about the planning and the layout of all the holes and digging all of these holes. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and check that out. There's a link down below in the description. In the second video here, it's all about setting all of our concrete forms, placing our rebar, pouring the concrete, and setting all of our brackets. So stay tuned. Okay, now that I got all the holes dug and ready for the sonotubes and concrete to go in, I'm going to put a base gravel layer down on the bottom, paver base, just to give it a nice flat, compacted down footing for the concrete to sit on. It's going to provide some drainage and also give it a nice flat bottom for the sonotubes to sit on. And then I'll take my measurements up from that to cut the sonotubes to size. And this is some actually big rocks. It's a paver foundation, or it says paver base, but there are some that have the finer gravel in it. This one's got the bigger rocks in it. Just gonna put enough in there just to, give a few inches. Okay, it should be good. All right, Michaela, what do we got? Stuff. That's expensive stuff. Come on, I just bought that because I needed some help making sure everything is level.
Well, we got to assemble it.
Okay. Turn around.
I don't know how to do that.
It's the power button.
Got it?
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Booting up. Then that top part will start spinning any second here. There it goes.
Don't stare at it.
Yeah, don't look into it. So it's basically setting itself at level there and then now spinning. So now we've got a good laser. Now what? We got to use the rod over there and the receiver. So turn it on. Okay. Since these batter boards, I already, found my level. You can use that. Let's go over to that side over there, closer to the laser, and let's use that one. And so set it on top of the batter board. Yep. And then, the receiver up here, you have to put it the same height as the laser.
Yeah, no.
So put it down here. It needs to face the laser. Okay. Super sensitive. There you go. Lock it. Right there. Let's get our first two in and measured.
There's a wash flew in there. Okay.
Yeah. Let's take and put it on the side of this, and I'm going to mark where I need to cut it.
What do you mean? So
here, we need to just kind of put it on the side like this.
Okay.
Let's turn the beeping on, and then we need to find where. Right there?
So like right there.
Right there, got it. Okay, so then I'm going to label this front 1, F1. Okay. Then we'll do this one, we'll label that one B1, and then we're going to take these all back to the barn and use the chop saw to cut them so I get a good square cut on it.
There.
Got it. Okay, and this one's going to be B1 for back one. right, good job. That worked out really well. Okay, so now that we got them cut to length, what I want to do is I want to cut these notches in the bottom, about so big, and then we'll flip them up. So we'll just cut two lines like this, bend it up, go them around 2 lines, bend it up, and that way when we put this down in the hole, it'll have it'll set it above the gravel base, and the concrete when it comes down will flow out and give it a broader base, you know, to get around the bottom side there. So pretty easy. We're just gonna cut a bunch of notches. Just like that. And then just bend it up. And then we'll turn it around and keep doing it. I think it's gonna be about 4 of them. Just like that. So that way when it sits on the bottom, that concrete will ooze out around all the sides and give it a broader base, because I'm going to backfill around this with dirt, but I want the wider base as much as I can on the bottom. You ready to cut some rebar?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, so I got these 10-foot length rebar, and it was cheaper to buy it in the longer lengths like that and then just cut it down to size. So I need 16 of them. I got 8 holes. I want to put 2 pieces of rebar in each hole. So at 10 feet, we can get 2.5 feet times 4 out of each one of those. It'll give us 16 pieces at 2.5 feet. So let's do it. Try the first one. We'll cut one and use that as our template to cut the rest. So
2 feet.
2 feet 6 inches. Got sparks everywhere. We are done. Okay, now that we got all of our sono tubes cut to size and the bottoms cut out like this so the concrete can flow out, and they're labeled, so this one's B1. I'm gonna go put them all in place now. All right, this one is B2. Back in the second one in the back. Make sure these are all flapped out. Okay. And F2, front 2. Really close. Yeah, really close. Maybe just a little bit low, which is good. Not that I don't trust the laser level, but I'm gonna throw an actual level on just to see. And yep, it's dead on. That's awesome. All right. So now that I got all the sono tubes already set back in place, I need to run my string line again from batter board to batter board and make sure my sono tubes are exactly the right width apart in a straight line. So that way I can, when I pour the concrete, everything's gonna be lined up just right. That looks pretty good. Now you can see some of the sonotubes are a little, not totally plumb. So now I got to go back and just plumb everything up, make sure everything's lined up right, and we'll backfill that in around the edges. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, now that I got my string line all in place, exactly 37 inches apart, and all my sonotubes lined up and plumbed up and level just right, and ready for the brackets. These brackets will go in, and this is the outer edge of that bracket. So I'll do my final positioning, making sure everything's level with the actual brackets. I'll set those in the concrete just like so. It should be dead center in these piers. So now that I got this all double checked and ready to go, I'm gonna backfill all of these sonotubes with this dirt and rock and to get them nice and solid and steady before I put the concrete into them. All right, well, here's the rebar all cut into 2.5 foot lengths. Again, 2 of these will go into each sonotube in the concrete, and that's going to help reinforce that concrete. So just in case it cracks anywhere, it'll help hold it all together. Then what I'm going to do is also put in these beam brackets that we're going to anchor the 4x6 treated beam, which the sawmill will set on. Now, the bottom of this only has a 3-inch, protrusion into the concrete, and that's supposed to hold that into the concrete. With all that vibration and whatnot, I'm going to actually use these fence stays I bought. This is a fence stay. It's a 42-inch fence stay for barbed wire fence. They were only like $1.25 a piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the end of that and wrap it around the bottom of the bracket, and that will help push it down into the concrete, and that will help hold the bracket down into the concrete and keep it from lifting out and vibrating out, just like this. I did this one right here. So we're going to go ahead and take care of the rest of these. I got 8 of them to do, or 7 more to do, and then I'm gonna tie this thing around like that, and we should be good to go and ready to start pouring concrete. I'm gonna start mixing it up using my new YardMax 4 cubic foot electric concrete mixer. I had to get that. I just had to, because I've got so many concrete projects I still need to do, and I was mixing everything by hand in a wheelbarrow, and it's just too much work. So I went ahead and picked that up. I've never used it before, so we'll see how it does. It's gonna help. I know it's gonna help. And I got my concrete here, at least some of it. I got more in the barn, but that's enough to get me started. So let's get started mixing some concrete. Just vibrating the sonotube to kind of get the concrete to settle into air pockets. Right on that string. And it's got to be square. Oh, the bracket. Good morning. Well, it was a late night last night and I got it done. I finally got it all done. But yeah, it was working late into the night. So all I have left to do is just clean up the area here, you know, remove all the string lines and the batter boards and just kind of get all this dirt cleaned up around here, maybe pack in a little bit more around those piers so it's nice and solid. And we're good to go for the next phase of bringing out those beams, getting those installed, and the actual sawmill. All right, well, that's a wrap on the second video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed and hit that alert bell so you're notified the next time we upload a video, especially the third video in this series, which is going to be about building this framework, bringing the sawmill out, setting it, and talking about cost. What did it cost me to build this foundation? So until next time, keep living the dream. It shoots sparks at you.
It did.
Can you see them?
I can't see much. No, I can, because I can only see the sparks.
Okay, try it without the helmet.